So as we said, cities across the country were prepared to burn if the verdict came back different from what it actually did. You're seeing footage from the past couple of days in Beverly Hills, Philadelphia, Oakland, Minneapolis. Thousands of National Guard troops deployed all over the country. More than 1,000 went to the city of Philadelphia alone. James Craig knows a lot about this subject. He runs the police department in Detroit. He's the chief there, and we're happy to have him on tonight. Chief Craig, thanks so much for coming on. Do you think that this is going to be the end? Well, you've kept, I think it's fair to say, Detroit pretty well under control over the last year in contrast to most other big cities in this country. But yes, looking out across America, do you think we're at the end of the let's burn Wendy's, loot the department store stage of the revolution, or is it going to continue?
It's going to continue. I predicted this over a week ago. Someone asked me the question on another host on one of your other shows. They said, so you think if there's a not guilty, what do you think? I said, it doesn't matter. It's going to continue. It didn't happen in Detroit for a reason. We set a tone here. We're not going to allow these no cop zones setting up. You're not going to violate the law. We're not going to cave in. We support peaceful protest, but I tell you, Tucker, sadly, I don't think it's over in other parts of the country, of course.
What? And we've talked about this before. I mean, you were in Detroit in '67 when the first big riots hit. Then you went out to California. You've seen a lot of different cities. Why do you think other cities allow mobs, whatever they believe, to wreck their downtowns? Why would they put up with that, do you think?
I think because they're cowards. I'm telling you, it's going to be, it's that simple. People in these cities, and I can speak for Detroit and I can speak for LA, you talk about some of the communities that, really rely on the men and women to go out and protect. They support the police. But then you get some folks that sit in seats of influence. I'm not talking leadership, Tucker, because that's different. We're not talking. Rashida Tlaib, as I've said on many of the shows on Fox, not a leader, sits in a seat of influence. And so it's a very different situation. So no, it's sad what we see going on here today, Tucker. I feel bad for my colleagues in Los Angeles. You talked about it in your last segment, where Columbus, Ohio, defund the police. That didn't work out real well for a lot of cities. New York. And so Detroit is very different. And I'm so honored to be here, that a community that supports us. And yes, we have the individuals here that talk about defunding. Rashida Tlaib talks to a very small friends group. She does not represent, in my estimation, the people that live in this city.
It's just so funny. The people who live in Detroit, it's overwhelmingly African-American. A lot of poor people live there. These are the people the rioters say they're acting on behalf of. These are our people. But they don't want this in Detroit. I just think it tells you everything.
They don't want it. And you know what they tell me? They got angry over the summer when some of these outsiders came into our city and they were chanting, "Go home." In fact, there were gang members, Tucker, waiting a block from one of the protests, and we stopped them. They just didn't understand Detroit. Detroit's not a real friend of outside influence. Look, if they had a bad police department and they wasn't satisfied with what we're doing, they handle their own business. It's always been this. When I worked here years ago, that's Detroit. It's gritty. But when I look at cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, and I watch the looting, the fact that police have retreated, what's going on, Tucker?
Yeah.
Not in Detroit.
Well, it's ruling class decadence. That's certainly what it is. Chief Craig, it's great to see you tonight. Thank you very much from Detroit.
It's always good to be on your show, Tucker. Thank you.